Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. I thought I'd come on. I was going to come on yesterday, but we ended up with a really bad storm, so I chose not to. I don't like to be doing anything when it's storming really bad, so I thought I'd come on this morning, continue working on my insert. Now, I did make some changes to my tree skirt. I'll go ahead and show this to you. I actually had this outside edge, an antique white, and I don't know, it didn't look good. So I went ahead and just used Hauser medium green and went around that. And then I did do a little bit of neon fiery red on the outside of this red part of the skirt. And then I used Hauser dark green around the edge, and I just think that gives it a better look. So that's what I did. So we're going to work on the reindeer portion of this design today. Maybe I can do a little bit more, just depends. So we'll go ahead and get started. Excuse me. I'm going to start off by painting the antlers first. I'm going to use a color called Desert Sand. It's just a little bit lighter than the antique white, and a little bit darker than buttermilk. So I thought I'd try that. When it comes to choosing browns, I'm pretty indecisive. I think I'm going to go with cocoa for this reindeer. So we will see. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my makeup sponge to lightly go over these antlers. Also, too, I am going to intertwine Christmas light bulbs through the antlers. I'm going to actually do the wiring part again like I did on the tree. I am going to make it an option. You'll get it if you were to purchase this file. This is what you would glue on top of the antlers. So, and you just paint the light bulbs and then the string. So I always like to give options. Some people might not want to use the wire, and I understand that. So I'm going to give you an option. And I might, depending on how this goes, I might do a string of lights where it's kind of intertwined where he's holding it. Because he's going to be actually in the middle. And there's going to be a stand for him. So he's going to be in the middle of the bench. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Also, if you did not see my post from yesterday, I'm currently running a sale on my website, on my Etsy site, excuse me. When you purchase $30 or more, you're going to receive 25% off. That includes all DIY kits. It actually includes everything available on my Etsy shop. So that's really a pretty good deal. I don't really run sales all that often, but I thought I'd run one. So that's good through August 6th. So it was only supposed to be through the 4th, but Etsy made it the 6th, and there was no way to go back and edit the date, so I just said the heck with it and left it at the 6th. So it's really foggy this morning. I was shocked. You can hardly see the barn when you look out the windows, so it's foggy. And with the start of Hall of Fame week, I hope that doesn't hinder any of the activities that are going on. I'm not for sure if the Hall of Fame parade is today or it's next Saturday. But that's a pretty big parade, and these people camp out to get a spot. I don't know if anyone's been watching the Olympics. I've watched a little bit here and there. So many sports. I never realized they had that many. I like, when it comes to Summer Olympics, I prefer the Winter Olympics over the summer. But when it comes to Summer Olympics, I like watching gymnastics. I like watching swimming, diving. I've been watching basketball because I do like basketball. That's about it. I'm not into a whole lot. I was kind of saddened by that girl who forfeited the match in boxing because of her opponent. That was kind of heartbreaking. I felt really bad for that lady. Also, too, I'm going to actually do the muzzle the same color. So I might as well get that painted, too. And I don't have that good of a smooth surface on these antlers, which is kind of interesting because I sand all my pieces. So I am going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go back over it. I don't know if there's something on the sponge. So good morning. But there's 4 different components for this particular design. And I actually just finished up a really adorable insert for my interchangeable standing sign. It's a Christmas design, and it is really, really cute. Once I get this finished, painted, I'm going to start on that. But it's really cute. I thought my interchangeable for Halloween was really adorable, but this is really, really nice. And everyone's, starting. Morning, Lori. You too, love you. Be careful, it's foggy. Yes, I'm just going to lightly sand this just so I can smooth it out. Something, too, you can do is I'm going to use it on here so I'm not really kind of taking off the paint all that much. I'm just going to try this brown piece of paper I have. Aw, thanks, Lori. Love you too. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. You can use You can use like a brown paper bag. I just found this brown paper in here, but this will actually smooth out your surface too. Take off any high spots if you happen to put your paint on too thick. So I'm going to try this first because there's just something, I don't know if it's in the paint. I always sand all my pieces and then I use a tack cloth to wipe them off. I like to use wood. I prefer to paint on wood. I know MDF is really popular. It's not my cup of tea. It's like a little hair. There, I got it. But, so when I do my wood kits, I don't offer the MDF. When I first started doing this, I had a nice lady that, before I got my laser, she cut me some wood kits. And she actually tested my designs for me. And like I said, I've always painted on wood. But she did a kit for me in MDF at my request, and I didn't care for it. I personally didn't feel that I could get a really good blended float. So it wasn't my thing. I know it's really popular. I don't know if it's cheaper than wood, but it's just not my thing. All right. Get rid of this too. But if, you know, whether you're sanding using a sandpaper or, you know, a brown paper bag, once you're done, you always want to wipe it off because that dust and debris will get in your sponge or your paintbrush and you'll get like an undesirable finish. And I do have another idea for design. That I'm going to start working on. It will be another part design for my bench. But yeah, I think it's a sponge. But if my idea works, I'm going to do this particular element. I'm going to put it on a larger scale, freestanding. We will see. I like to try and create different things. I don't create the whole cutesy stuff all that much. I mean, I know that's popular and, you know, I have some stuff that are like that, but I kind of like to try and do something different. and try and be unique. I don't want to really be like everyone else. Yeah, I have the truck inserts, and, you know, that's pretty popular, and people are doing it. And, yeah, I created a bench, created it before other people have created it, but it is what it is. But I do like to create different types of things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting the result I like. I don't know what's going on. Weird. So if this works out, I'm going to be pretty excited about it because it's definitely unique. It'll be something that you can use at Christmas. I guess it could be considered as a shelf sitter. It will go with my bench, but like I said, if I'm successful, I will make it larger. Probably, I don't know. 11 inches wide, not for sure how tall. I'll have to see, but it'll be pretty cool. Good morning. So like I said, I'm using desert sand on these antlers and muzzle. Then I'm going to go back and highlight the tips of them with just regular sand. And I will go around and highlight the muzzle with that too. Just to bring a little brightness to the tips of these antlers. So with Hall of Fame being this week and last week, it officially starts football season. And my husband and I are huge football fans. So looking forward to that. Can't wait for high school football. A friend of ours' son, who is extremely athletic, is going to be the starting quarterback. We are so excited for him and his mother. He's just, wow, is he tough. And he's only a sophomore. He started varsity when he was a freshman. And no, he's a junior. He'll be a junior. I mean, he's just, he's phenomenal. And really a super, super nice young kid. So we are really excited for that. I'm unsure how I want to do my hooves. I'll probably do them like a darker brown. I don't want to go with black. So, and these legs are separate. that you glue on. And like I said, I think I might do some lights with wires that you can glue on here. So it looks like, you know, he's holding, you know, some Christmas lights. So you'll just glue these hooves on, and then there's going to be a stand, like I said. And then, you know, his muzzle. So it's a little, it just gives a little bit dimension, these extra parts. So, I don't know. I don't like the surface of this. I really think it's that sponge. So I'm going to put on one more coat, and then that's it. And then we'll start highlighting a little bit. I do like painting with these makeup sponges. I'm old school as far as, you know, tool painting, decorated painting. I learned how to paint with a brush. This definitely goes quicker, and you don't have to worry about the brush strokes. But you gotta watch with the sponges. Like the sponges I normally use, they're discontinued, I think, on Amazon. I can't find them anywhere. So I purchased a different brand to try and replace these, which is these, and they're really flimsy. They're not, they don't have a lot of density to them. I'm gonna have to try and find something different because I don't really care for these. And it seems like it takes a lot more paint. All right. Start highlighting with sand. And like I said, I'm just trying to brighten up the tips. I am going to go around the muzzle once that dries. And I prefer, good morning, I prefer to shade and highlight with a flat brush unless I'm getting in like a really small area or I'm doing a lot of curves. Then I'll use an angle brush and kind of tilt my brush to maneuver through those curves. But I personally like to float highlighting and shading with a flat brush. I just feel that I get a better result. So you need to experiment with what brush works best for you to give you the result that you're looking for. You just want to dip the corner of your brush in, then take it to your paper palette or whatever it is that you use to blend your paint, and just blend it out. And I'm just, like I said, I got a little bit too much water, but that's nothing new. I'm just going to highlight the tips just to brighten them up. And my downfall is I always get too much water. I mean, but you need water to blend your paint. I mean, that's just a given. And you might not be able to see this paint, all this highlight very well. But I personally like to build my highlighting and shading up. Good morning. Hi, honey. Be careful today while you're driving. It's foggy here. But I do build my highlighting and shading up in steps. That's just me. I always feel that you can add, but you can't take away. So I just prefer to do it that way. You know, here's the thing. If you end up getting too much highlighting or shading on, you can always go back over it with the base coat. So everything is always fixable. So don't get too alarmed if you're not getting the result that you kind of were after. I mean, it's fixable. Everything is fixable. It just may take a little bit more of your time, but it is fixable. I think next weekend starts Shaker Woods. That's 3 weekends that they have that craft show. They have it Saturday and Sunday. So I know my husband and I will be attending that. We went last year, and it's just, if you live close to Ohio by the Pennsylvania border, this craft show is just something else and worth the drive. Just worth it. It's amazing. So many different things. They have entertainment there. Food galore. And then you can even, you know, purchase food from vendors. Last year we bought pickles. Bought them for a girl that I work with. And I thought, wow, while we're at it, we'll try this and see what the hoopla is about. Why she wanted these pickles. Oh my gosh, they were amazing. So many flavors. Good morning. I didn't realize how many flavors of pickles there are, but we got this particular kind called Sweet Heat. And they're really sweet when you first, you know, start eating them, and then all of a sudden they get hot. And I'll tell you what though, if you eat a lot of them, but they're really good. I wish they just had plain sweet, because I would purchase some of those, because that sweet flavor is really, really, it's tasty. All right, that's probably good enough. But just so many talented people and crafters. I went there last year just to purchase some paintings from a lady that's in a group that I belong to. She's a decorative painter. And my gosh, is she talented. She is just amazing. And she's there every year. I don't like how this is not smooth, so I'm going to have to, I can see the, and I definitely have way too much water. Now, there's just some type of debris coming from somewhere. And I don't know where. Because I keep my area pretty cleaned and pretty wiped up. I don't like sanding over my area. I don't know. Bizarre. But this will be the stand that you're going to get to insert the reindeer in. It's 2 layers. I prefer 2 layers. Just I think it gives it more stability. Plus it's wider. And I like to do, you know, the top part a little bit smaller. I just think it gives more interest. You don't have to do that if you were to purchase this design. You could cut 2 bottom bases and have it be the same size. I don't recommend cutting 2 of the top because I think that might be too small. But you can do that. Good morning. Thank you for joining. All right. Let that dry a little bit more and I'll give it another coat. The shading color I'm going to use for these antlers is a color they call fawn. And what I'm going to do is just shade behind the head and behind the ears. Just so it kind of looks like the antlers are set back a little bit behind the head, behind the ears. That's what I'm kind of going for. When it comes to shading and highlighting, yeah, you do that to add a different color. Oh, I got more out there than I wanted. But that paint thing was about empty. Yes, it's to add, you know, additional color to whatever it is you're doing. But I feel, and this is just my opinion, when it comes to shading and highlighting, I feel the purpose behind it is to create an optical illusion of layers. And I don't know about this brush. I don't know what it is with my angle brushes, and I think that's why I don't buy that many anymore. is I always seem to get something like dried at the corner, and I clean my brushes pretty good, but there's just like something that sticks to it. I don't know if it's paint. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I've used cleaner on them, and just, it's like something gets stuck within the bristles. And I don't know about this fawn. To me, it looks, I mean, it's definitely a lighter color, but I don't know if that's like dark enough shading for me. So I'm gonna ponder on that while it dries. And I might go back over it with a darker color. And then what I'm doing is what they call walking the float. I'm kind of just bringing my shading out from the head, just making it thicker. Just to make, I want it like a larger shading area. Okay, I'm gonna go over this muzzle one more time. And then of course we have a nose to put on that, which I'm gonna make red. I mean, that shading's pretty subtle. Which I'm okay with. I'm not into bold shading and highlighting. It's not my thing. It's not my style of how I paint. If that's something you're into, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you were to, you know, purchase this, and you're watching this video, you don't have to choose the colors that I use. You can use whatever colors you want. I'm just here to paint it for you, show you the colors that I use, but nothing's set in stone. You know, this is your project. You know, make it the way you want. All right, we'll go ahead and get started on this reindeer. The color I'm gonna use honey brown. When I did a test, it was cocoa, which is a little bit different. Cocoa is in my left hand, honey brown is in my right. I don't like the highlighting color that you use for cocoa. And I tried various different colors to highlight it with, and I didn't like it. So I'm just gonna go with honey brown. I like honey brown. I've used it numerous times on things, so. I'm just using a brush so I can get close to the antlers and not get my score lines. I will be using a sponge. I'm just trying to be careful that I don't get in areas that I don't want to be in. And I just feel that I have better control over where the paint goes by using a brush. That's just me. I actually thought about mixing paint, but I hate to do that. So I'm just gonna stick with this honey brown. I'm not worried about the eyes. I'm gonna paint those black, so. Now you definitely want to paint the body all the way down in between these two legs, because that will be showing. And we will be painting these hooves a different color. I'm just not for sure what color I want to do. So I'm just going to kind of go around like this. I do have score marks, score lines right there, but you know, these legs are going to be going over top of them. I think like a darker brown, like maybe dark chocolate, or espresso, asphaltum. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna choose. I know I don't want to do black. I just want like a little bit of contrast, but I don't want it really, really bold. Now, as you can see, this brown's going to take a couple coats. And just go lightly around the edges, that way you're not getting paint on the side of your piece of wood. I mean, if you do, you can wipe it off. But I always try and go lightly. I start off with, you know, a lot of paint in the middle of my project, the area that I'm painting, and then I kind of just, you know, thin it out towards the edges, and I kind of angle my sponge too, so it's not going over the edges. I mean, if it does, you know, just wipe it off with a Clorox wipe. You want to do that, you know, as quickly as you can. I mean, it'll still wipe off if it dries, but it just makes it easier if you do it as quickly as you can. You can use paint pens, magic markers. So there's all different ways that you can fix that. So don't get too alarmed if you happen to get paint on your edges. It is fixable. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that shading. I just feel like it needs something, I don't know what. But I'm going to wait until I get my highlighting on. Definitely need to clean out my score marks. Good morning. And if you happen to get paint your score lines, they have all different kinds of tools out there. I just purchased this particular thing from the Dollar Tree. And I just lightly dig them out. So don't get too alarmed if you happen to get paint in there. But you want to try and dig them out as quickly as you can while the paint's wet. And see, just by cleaning those out, how it darkened up that line for the separation. I should have checked to make sure I got this paint down low enough, because that would be a bummer. It seems like I do. Yeah. Still a little blotchy around the ear. So I guess I'm gonna just throw this question out there. To the two people who are watching, if you want to answer, great. To people that might review this video after it's finished, what type of designs would you like to see? What type of designs do you like? Yeah, I just don't know how I feel about that color. I mean, this is a shading color, and it's just, I don't like it. I feel like it needs to be a little bit darker, but Okay, I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna mix some espresso and some fawn. To shade with. And you can do that. You just stick in one color, and then what I like to do is come to my palette, blend a little bit, and then go to the next color. And then blend that color, and then it kind of blends them together. I'm just looking for something a little bit more darker. I don't like it. So I just think it needs to be a little bit darker. But I think the espresso by itself is too dark. So I think you need a little bit of that fawn in there to tame it down a little bit. Good morning. I mean, that just darkens it up a little bit. I might put like just a narrow shading line of even a darker brown. So don't be afraid to blend colors to get, you know, a different shading color or highlighting color. I do it all the time. So I just kind of like that a little bit better. It's a little bit darker. Hi, Virginia. How are you today? Oh, you're going to have to watch from the beginning? There's a lot of elements to this design. This is the second component. I have another component and another one, and so I thought I'd come on early this morning, get started. Then I'll probably take a break for a couple hours, and I might come back and even paint more. Now I'm just going back over this with the espresso just to darken it up. And I'm done messing with that. I really didn't get the smooth transition that I would have liked, but I'm not going to mess with it. So I'm going to go over these ears just a titch because I happen to get some shading on them. And then we're going to start highlighting the ears and outside the body. Now I've used honey brown tons and tons of times before. I love the color. I don't know what happened here. But the highlighting color for honey brown is marigold. As a matter of fact, DecoArt chooses a lot of yellows, shades of yellow to highlight brown. But they go. It works. So we're going to be using marigold to highlight. Now, it is a dark yellow. I think it's a dark yellow. I mean, this is the color. And this is my honey brown. So you can see how different they are. But it does work. The key, I think, and this is just my opinion, you really need to water down the marigold. You want to put the highlighting on lightly with a very light touch and build it. If you don't blend your paint and you just go full force, I don't think it'll be, it's very, it sticks out there. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I've used this plenty of times before and I've always gotten good results, but I do water down my paint and I blend it. And I build my highlight. So, let's see what we can get accomplished here with this. I'll start with the ears. I mean, I'm just using a little bit of paint. And see, after I blend, there's hardly anything on there. So. And here's the deal. If it ends up being too much brighter than really what I want, I will go back and put honey brown over top of it. And I don't like this brush. There's not enough bristles, and I know if I go to use this one, well, we gotta try it because I didn't get the gradient I wanted. Also, too, a key to a good floating and highlighting is your brush. And I personally have better success with a brush that has more bristles. I just feel it puts on a better blended highlight and shading. See, look at the difference between the two. But that's just my opinion. Good morning. I really think you need to choose a brush that has thicker bristles. That one that I just used over here, it's thin and it didn't blend well. And then also too, a brush that has more bristles will hold more paint and more water. And I will go around the outside of that head. My water is getting really dirty. I think another thing that is key to floating, highlighting, and shading is clean water. I don't know how I feel about that yellow. I've used it plenty of times before, but I'm not feeling it today. So we will let it die down and see. I might have to go back and blend some honey brown and marigold. Oh, thank you. I use all Deco Art paint, Virginia, and believe it or not, they have a highlighting and shading chart. It's a very informative chart on their website, and they recommend marigold. That is their recommendation. And they're usually spot on with the recommendations. So I pretty much follow their charts. But every now and again I will stray. Now, I just think though the key with this marigold is you really have to water it down. And just blend your paint really a lot. And it does have a tendency to fade as it's drying, I feel. So, I mean, that's kind of drying. And, I mean, you can see that there's a little bit of yellow cast to it, but it's not that bad. So, but yeah, you should check out DecoArt's website and look for their color chart because they're really spot on. All right, we'll try and highlight above this head. I missed my mark by just a titch and got it on my antlers. If you happen to get paint where you don't want it, I like to use Q-tips. I use Q-tips for applying glue to small areas. So, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this whole side. Even though I'm gluing the legs on, I just think I'll just get a better line. So I'm just going to go ahead and just highlight this whole area. It's not going to hurt. So I think that's pretty good for the highlighting. I am going to go right here on his ears with a little bit of marigold. get my paint blended enough to suit me. So hopefully that fades. Something you can do is use your finger too to blend your paint. I am going to go back and I'm going to shade underneath and then behind the head. See, I'm getting that bold line because I'm not keeping my brush flat. I'm tilting it, but I'm just going to use my finger to blend it a little bit. And I do think I need to go around his head just a touch more. I just want a little bit, whoa, lighter. And that might be too much. I really have a glare today, I don't know why, for my overhead lights. I know a mop brush is supposed to be used to wipe up the water, but I actually use it too to blend my floats. It works for me. It helps blend them. So you could try that. That's something you can do. All right, the recommended color that Deco Art says for shading honey brown is actually milk chocolate. So I'm going to go ahead and shade around the head underneath the ears. I'm going to probably place my muzzle up there and shade around that too. So I'm just going to use a smaller brush right now because I want to just shade the bottom part of this ear. And I'm just going to take my brush and kind of like pull it down to kind of darken, pull the shade down so it covers more of the bottom of the ear. And I probably need to go on top of that ear again. Yeah, I just kind of think I need a little bit more yellow. I'm gonna go over this shading one more time. Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing today. I don't know what's going on. I am using different glasses. I might have to switch back to my old. That might be, I'm seeing things differently, and that might be one of the issues. So when I empty my water, I think I'm going to get my other glasses out, because I'm struggling here. Oh boy. That's a lot brighter than what I really wanted, but we will see. Something else I'm gonna do. So I can kind of know exactly where my shading needs to go. What I like to do is I like to put my piece on that I'm gonna glue. And then I just use my Fonz and Porter chalk pen. I love this thing. It's not a pen, it's a pencil. And then I just lightly draw a mark around there. So I know exactly how the shape goes. And what's really cool about this particular pencil, because it's a quilter's pencil, this is chalk. When water hits it, it's gonna fade. So it gets rid of it. But what you can see is now I actually get the shape of what the muzzle is gonna look like once I glue it on there. So I know I wanna do some type of shading. So that's just gonna give me a true shape to shade. Hopefully that makes sense. But see, it just wiped that line out. That chalk line's gone. Yeah, I have a darker line, but I get that shape that I'm after. And yes, it's up above where the muzzle is gonna go, but I'm okay with that because now I've got my shape, and now I can get a more wider float when I go and put on my next coat. So that's just my thing that I like to do. I'm just like I said, trying to use this to get the shape. And then I'll go back and fine tune it. I don't know how I feel about that yellow. There's got to be something. All right, I'm gonna try something crazy. I'm gonna see. I don't know. I'm not getting the result I really am after with that yellow today. So let me just try something. I'm going to mix a little honey brown. I'm going to mix a little yellow ochre. And I'm going to go back over that. And believe it or not, I like that way better. All right, so what I did is I took a little bit of honey brown onto my palette. I took some yellow ochre, and I'm blending these together to get a lighter color to highlight. Because I'm just not feeling that marigold today. It's not working for me. And I just think this is a better choice. What do you think, Virginia? Like I said, you're never locked in. You can always fix something if you don't like it. So I just think this is a better choice. I think it blends better. I mean, you can still see a yellow tint, but it's just not as bold, I don't think. Just my opinion. You like it? I mean, I've used marigold before. Especially like when I do my scarecrows, I usually paint the hat honey brown and do the marigold on there. And it looks fine. But for some reason today, it's just not working. It doesn't look right to me. So I thought, I'll just try some honey brown and yellow ochre. Because here's the marigold and here's the yellow ochre. It's almost like golden straw. And that was another thought too. You could probably do some golden straw. But yeah, way better. I mean, it still has that yellow cast to it, but it's not so in your face. All right. So don't be afraid to experiment with colors. Ooh. All right, let's do the top of the ears. And we're done highlighting this reindeer. Yeah, that's just a better choice. All right, let me continue on shading. I should be using a flat brush. So let me do that. It's kind of on a wider shading line. I'm not really getting it. Let's see where I'm at here. This milk chocolate is it's very minimal shading. So I definitely need to go over that again. Something I've done too when I've shaded with this milk chocolate on the honey brown, I have actually went back and just did a small shading area of either dark chocolate or the burnt umber, just to bring in a different color of brown and to darken it up. So a lot of painters, they'll layer their shading and highlighting colors. They'll start with a darker color to use for either shading and highlighting, and then they'll go to the next step of lighter just to bring in more interest. So don't feel that you have to use one color to shade or highlight with. There's no right or wrongs. It's your project. Do it, what's going to make you happy. I'm not going to shade behind his ears. I forgot about that. I just stuck my finger in that. All right. So let me go ahead and shade behind his ears, because I did. I completely forgot about that. I mean, behind his head. Because I want to try, I want to bring his head forward and push his ears back. So. And then I might do just a darker color on his ears. And like I said, this milk chocolate isn't a big difference over this honey brown. So you have to do it in several coats. I'm still not getting a wide enough shading line on his, above his muzzle. So that's a little bit better. I'm kind of thinking too, I need to shade on where these hooves are gonna go. So I'll get my pen out, pencil, and get my line. I think I'll shade there too, just to add a little bit more dimension. Okay. Right. Now I'm starting to get some darkness. And I'll probably shade right around in here. Because if you think about it, I mean, he's sitting down, and when you sit down, your feet are in front of your body. So just to kind of, you know, push the body back a little bit. These are what they are. I didn't purchase, I didn't design another layer for these hooves, the bottom of his hooves. So I do want to try and create that illusion of the body being back and these hooves moving forward. So I think I will shade right around in there. And then when I get these painted, I definitely will be highlighting, so to hope to give that optical illusion. All right. Good morning. So we might as well try that. What I'm gonna do is just, well, let's see here. Yep, I'm just gonna follow that particular line and just go down, and it will go into this leg. And probably something I might do is I'll probably shade on the belly somewhat. I'll see how I like this once it dries. I mean, because you can over highlight and shade too much. I mean, you just can. But also too, highlighting and shading definitely brings dimension, a different interest. It just changes the whole look of things when you do that. Let's see how this is now. Wish it was just a little bit darker. I think that's better. Yeah, like I said, this milk chocolate, it's not a dark contrast as far as shading on this honey brown. And this is the color that they do recommend. It blends really, really nice. But I find it that, you know, I want a little bit more contrast, so I will have to put on several coats to get the look that I'm after. Got a little bit more over the hose. I'm still undecided. What color I want to paint these hooves. Now there is something called dark chocolate, which is, I just feel that dark chocolate has a different hue. I might have to do this espresso. I don't know. Maybe burnt umber. I don't know. I know I want a darker brown. I might have to blend colors. I don't know. All right, I want to get one more coat on there. And then I need to figure out what color I want to make these hooves, because I am very undecided. So, what I think I'll do, I really need to change my water. All right. You know, here's the deal. I'm gonna put a piece over this. So I'm gonna take dark chocolate and I'm gonna paint on this portion just to see if I like the variation in color. And I think I'm going to. It's not too dark, so that's what I think I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna use dark chocolate. And this is not the little narrow brush that I normally use. So I think there's enough contrast with this dark chocolate. So I think that's a good choice. And I might have went over my line, my area. All right. So I'm just going to use a sponge to paint the rest of this. And I just don't know how I feel with the sponges. I hope Amazon comes back out with those brushes, sponges, because I don't like the other ones, and you gotta have some density to these sponges if you're gonna use sponges to paint. Because otherwise the paint is just soaking up in the sponges and it's pretty much all for naught. And I need to find out what the highlighting and highlighting colors milk chocolate. And that's what I shaded with. I don't know about that. That's not going to highlight anything at all. I might have to be mixing colors. And we have more light bulbs to paint again today, because I am going to be doing string lights on this, weaving it through the antlers. I just think that's an additional cuteness to this reindeer. And if you were not here, hello, good morning. If you're not here earlier, like I said, I do have the other option where it's all cut out, the string and the lights. That way you can just glue it onto the antlers, and it's good to go. But I like doing the wire. It just adds a more 3D effect, because you can turn the light bulbs any direction you want and like tilt them forward if you want, and it just gives it a more 3D look, that when you choose to do the ones that are pre-cut with the string, and glue it, it just lays flat, and there's no illusion, there's no dimension. I don't know, that's just me. So you're gonna get both options. I think if I was to sell a wood kit, I'd have to have you, the buyer, choose which you prefer. You know, when you glue it on, you're just locked in. If you choose the wire method, if you decide you don't want them on there, you can remove them. Aw, thank you. I think it'll be cute. So I'll be painting those lights again. I got a lot of lights to put on his head. I actually thought about doing another string of lights and having him hold it. And then, because he's going to be sitting on my bench, I'm kind of trying to give the illusion that he's decorating the Christmas tree with the lights. So I'm thinking about, stringing it through his hooves, and then having it wrapped around in a circle on the bench on the floor. Like, you know what it's like when you're decorating your Christmas tree, how the lights get all tangled. So that's my thought. I don't know if I'll go all that way. That might be considered too busy. What do you think, Virginia? Do you think that would be too busy, having it go through his hooves and being kind of tangled up on the floor? All right. Yeah, I probably do need to put some shading around his legs. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I do appreciate feedback. And thank you so much for joining me today and sitting here watching. I greatly appreciate it. All right. Let me go ahead and shade around here. Now I'm going to just do one side and let it dry, and then I'll go back and do the other side. If I was to do both sides, when I get down to this area, because this area is so narrow, what would happen is I would wipe off the shading I just did on this side. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. So I'm just going to do one side, wait for it to dry, go do the other side. So we'll let that dry. All right, let's continue getting his house painted. Yeah, it takes a lot of coats with this dark chocolate. But I'm glad I went with the dark chocolate, not something. No, I didn't paint lights yesterday. It was actually last week when I did my Christmas tree. I'm usually on early in the morning, believe it or not. That day that you come in, it was a Friday night. It was last Friday night. And I normally don't paint at night because I work all day. I start work at 5 in the morning. So I'm kind of like tired on Fridays. So I usually paint Saturday and Sunday morning, sometimes early afternoon. Didn't you say you're in Georgia? So you're not on Eastern time? Because I know when I lived in Florida, we had to go through Georgia. Well, Georgia is a wide state. Yeah, I actually was going to go on last night, but we ended up having a really bad thunderstorm. Oh, okay. Why did I think you said last week you were watching from Georgia? I don't know. I get lost. I've never been to Alabama. I had some friends that went there a few years ago, like down on the beach. If I heard the name of the town, I would know. Oh, okay, Georgia. Okay. All right. I don't know why I thought you said Georgia, but hey. So Alabama, you're just west of Georgia. Is that a fair statement? So that would be the central. Because I know when I went to Tennessee, because I'm in Ohio, when I went to Tennessee for a golfing trip with a bunch of girls, it was a different time zone, and I was really surprised by that. Because it really wasn't that far west of where I was. It was like right outside of Cincinnati. think of what that town is in Alabama. As a matter of fact, I was watching a show that a friend recommended. It's called Battle at the Beach or something like that. Battle on the Beach. And it's where, they remodel all these beach homes. It's 3 teams. But anyhow, wherever they were in Alabama on that show is where my friends went to. And they said it was absolutely beautiful to where they actually thought about moving there. Which I was surprised because they're all from this area, born and raised. All right. I'm going to do a... That's exactly it. Gulf Shores. Yes. Yep. I knew I'd know it when I heard it. That looks really pretty down there. But it looks like, and I may be wrong, but when I was watching that show and they were remodeling those beach houses, when they took the cameras out, it looked like it might have got damaged from a hurricane because there was a lot of flat land with no homes on it, and I was kind of surprised by that, seeing that it was on the beach. I definitely need to figure out what kind of highlighting color I want to do. And then I'm going to have to do the legs. When I say soft blacks, I need to find my soft black. Which I absolutely love soft black. I actually use it over the regular black and then shade with the regular black. But what's interesting about the soft black, to me, and this is just my opinion, it kind of looks like a deep, deep, deep brown. So it's one of my favorite colors. Get a little bit more brown on here. And then I'm going to have to take a break, empty my water. I need to do one more coat on the, well, do the other side. Empty my water, and I need to switch to my other glasses. Because these glasses are just not doing it for me today. All right. I don't even know how long I've been on. Oh, I've got a pesky little fly. Yeah, I think that's probably a good choice to do that. So this is coming together. Need to paint his nose red. Get his eyes painted black. I don't think I got my shading line the way I should have. And that's my fault. Ugh. Not good. I don't know if I can fix that or not. Crud. I will try, but I don't know. That might have to be a redo. We will see. Before I put any more coats on this one, I better make sure my line is correct. Somehow I didn't get something lined up when I was tracing. Now this one's better. But that one's just off. Crud. That is just off. I cannot leave it like that. I don't. But, well, what the heck's happened there? But, since I've got that placed, I need to draw my line so I can shade. Yep, I need to somehow get more brown over there. That's going to take several coats to get that covered up. So, in the meantime, I need to figure out a highlighting color. I need to do something. I'm saying milk chocolate is a highlighting color, but I think it needs to be blended with something. Maybe blend a little bit of milk chocolate and this dark chocolate. That's probably what I'm going to need to do. So I'll go ahead and shade on these hooves. I use soft black. I gotta somehow get that fixed. All right, it's starting to build up. Just got to bring that shade line in. Well, I wonder what the weather is like at Myrtle Beach. 'Cause my friend Sarah and her family left to go on vacation for a week there. And I know she was really concerned because of the weather. So I hope everything works out. And I hope she has some really nice sunny weather. I'll have to check Facebook for photos. That will tell the story. All right, I just gotta get another coat on here. Kind of getting behind because of my boo-boo. I think I've got to get that built up. I ain't gonna get it built up with a flat shader. So all right. All right, I said I was gonna make some dark chocolate and milk chocolate. To try and highlight these hooves. So I think a smart choice is I'll try and highlight the hooves that I do on. Because that way, if I don't like it, I'd rather paint over those. Those would be just easier to paint and be done with instead of the one that's the entire piece. So, let's see. It's either going to be a hit or a miss. All right, where are we at? Let me see if that's covered up any better. Just needs a titch more. All right. Ooh, good enough. I'm not gonna sit there and fuss. I need another darker coat of that on. And then I'm calling that body good. Well, that highlighting just kind of disappeared. Interesting. I have too much water on my brush. Way too much. Terrible habit. What I think I'll do is I'm just going to use milk chocolate on this outside edge, like they recommend. Because there's not going to be anything next to it. But to highlight it with milk chocolate next to milk chocolate, I just don't think will go. But that's just my opinion. I mean, I think it would all blend in together, but I could be wrong. I might not even highlight that part of the hoof. We'll see. All right. I probably shouldn't have shaded around these legs. If I had it to do all over again, I would not do it. Soft black for, use that on what, Virginia? I'm sorry. Oh, shading. Yeah, I used soft black on the hooves here, but what I want to do is highlight. Um, yeah, I did it on the back part. That might be a good idea. The only thing, though, I don't know is, see, I have soft black here and here for shading. And that might be too close to it. I don't know. But that might be a good idea. I don't know. You need coffee? Well, Virginia, I'm going to go and empty my water. And I'll be back. If you happen to, stick around, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. But if you take off, thank you so much for joining me today and chatting with me. I greatly appreciate it. I shouldn't be gone more than 10 minutes. I put my break on my video on a break screen. So, but I really got to empty my water. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to ponder on what I want to do about these hooves. So, I hope you stick around, but if not, I do appreciate you staying and chatting with me today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So hopefully you stay, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. And one thing I discovered while I was downstairs is getting ready to blow up a storm. So, it's thundering, thundering, thundering. So, I'm not exactly for sure how much longer I'm going to be on here. And it's been raining for the past few days, which we do need the rain. But we're supposed to be, hello. We're supposed to be getting rain for the next few days. But I don't like to be on when there's thunder and lightning. With equipment, electrical equipment. I'm starting to rush. I need to slow down. So I wanted to get more of this done. Shading where those legs were took up more time than I really wanted. Otherwise, I'd have been pretty much done. So, I need to get cracking. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the nose. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna start painting these light bulbs. I'm gonna do the nose in country red. Yeah, it's really, hello. It's trying to blow up something. So I'm gonna use country red on the nose. Hopefully you can see. And all I'll do is just highlight the top of this nose with the fiery red. Go ahead and get these light bulbs painted. I just, I'm using the same colors that I used for my tree, the light bulbs on my tree. If you were to purchase this design or a wood kit, you can use as many colors as you want. Any color you want, even solid color. I will be using the liquid glass again, just to give that shiny effect. I think that adds a different look. And it actually changes the color of the paint. Shoot. I didn't think they were open on Saturdays. Crud. I might have to end this. I'm gonna have to return that phone call. All right. Yeah, and honestly, that highlighting color is not all that. It's not that bright. So while that's drying, I'll go ahead and paint these eyes. Oh, Snicky's just on a roll down there talking to Alexa. I don't know what she's saying to her. She's saying something that Alexa's saying it's not supported. So I'm just using black on the eyes. I could have used the soft black, but I just like the darkness of the regular black for eyes. And something I like to do when I'm painting the eyes is instead of trying to paint the shape by moving my brush, I kind of just put paint on my brush, the tip of my brush, and kind of just push it out to the score line. That's what works for me and kind of keeps my shape. And I like to use a tiny brush. Right. Let that dry, and then I'll dot the whites of its eyes. Yeah, I'm just not getting a whole lot of highlighting color, so that's interesting. That milk chocolate really fades into this dark chocolate. I might find like another color to go over it to lighten it up a little bit. I have way too much water on my brush. All right, I'll just continue on.